What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and over the last few weeks I've been getting some messages from players asking for specific farming locations for specific legendaries in the game. Now, to be very clear, pretty much everything in this game is an open world drop. However, certain bosses do have dedicated loot. Therefore, today I wanted to show you those bosses and some of the weapons you can pick up. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And remember, we are currently having a giveaway for an Xbox Series X. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on July 4th of this year. So the first weapon I'll be showing you today, my friends, is Boreas Breath, and you can get this by farming Ribula in the Snoring Valley. Now, again, to be clear, you can get these weapons anywhere in the open world. You can get them from the Chaos Chamber as well. However, as I mentioned a moment ago, these bosses do have dedicated drops for these specific weapons, and for new players, it's a great way to try to get one specific thing that you may be looking for. One thing I want to make sure I mention as we move on, and this is really for players who are new to the game, is remember you have multiple ways to respawn when you're farming a boss over and over. You can either reset your chaos levels if you're at that point in the game. By reset, I mean changing them. You can go from 19 to 20, so on and so forth. The other options you have are fast traveling back to Brighthoof, which will then open a portal allowing you to go back to the respawn location. You can save and exit the game, then go back into it, which will then put you where you need to be. And finally, you can down your character, but I do not recommend that, as that will cost you gold, so I feel the other options are the way to go. Another thing I need to make sure I mention is for those of you that are still being affected by the loot luck bug in the game, I've heard a lot of different, comments in regards to that. Some people say it's just visual, they don't see a change at all. Others do see a change in the actual quality of the loot. So if that's the case, please let me know what's going on in your gameplay in the comments section down below. For me, I have noticed my loot luck drop, but I've also noticed that it does not affect my farming whatsoever. It's been confirmed by the game that it is just visual. However, like I said, other people do see an effect, so if that's happening to you, again, please let me know. Now, the next weapon I'll be showing you, even though it did take a nerf a while back, it is still one of the most requested items in the game, and that is anything liquid cooling. Now, one of the best places to farm for it is in Crackmass Cove. You're going to go to the Salty Saunter waypoint, and you're going to make your way to the obelisk, which you see on the map right here. I recommend just putting a waypoint there. That way you know exactly where to go, and once you get close to it, there is a respawn location. Now, there happen to be multiple variations of this weapon in regards to the scope and things like that. However, it only drops in cryo, so for those of you putting together a frost build, even though it did take that nerf, it's still a very strong weapon. So if you do not have one, I definitely recommend trying to pick one up. One of the reasons this weapon is so popular is because when you're hitting an enemy with this weapon with a critical hit, the weapon does not heat up, so you're able to fire non-stop. And my friends, like I said, even though it did take that nerf, it still puts out a ton of damage. Next weapon I'll be highlighting today is the AUTOMAGIC.EXE handgun. It is an absolute monster, and for a lot of people, after that liquid cooling nerf took place, this was the gun they switched to. Now, one of the best places to farm for it is in the Weep Wild Dankness. You're going to go to the Corrupted Heart waypoint. That's where you're going to face Banshee, and I know the boss can be a bit of a pain, but again, she has a dedicated drop source of this weapon, so it is definitely worth your time. Now, unlike the liquid cooling weapon, this drops in multiple elemental variants. So for instance, you can see here I wind up getting a lightning version. I think the next one is a frost version. I have a poison version as well. So regardless of what type of build you're putting together, you should be able to find a version that really complements the build that you're trying to create. Now, in regards to your chaos level, obviously the higher the chaos level equals the better chance of you getting certain loot. However, these items can be picked up anytime at any point in the game, so remember, you can always farm regardless of where you're at. However, once again, to be clear, and this is for new people just jumping into the game, you always want to farm at the highest level possible. Now, the difficulty in the game does not matter. I am referring strictly to your chaos level, so again, always farm at the highest chaos level you possibly can. Moving on, my friends, to the Swordsplosion, and as most of you know, it got a major buff in the game last week. The gun is absolutely insane. It's really fun to use. Now, the best place to farm for it is in Wargtooth Shallows. You're going to go to Wreck of have the Tempest Scorn, and you're going to face LeChance. Now, I actually put out a farming video on LeChance last week because he was the featured boss in the Chaos Chamber run. You know, we have those weekly events. He was featured, which meant that he had a higher chance of dropping certain things, including the SWORDSPLOSION weapons. However, even if you catch this after that, he is still the boss you want to hit up to try to get this weapon. And like I said, with the major buffs that the game gave to it, it is absolutely, you know, it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. It's so much fun to use facing bosses, things like that. So once again, I definitely recommend trying to pick this thing up. Last but not least today, my friends, we have the Gluttony weapons, and you want to farm Droll the Troll, who is located at the Queen's Gate. To get there, you're going to go to the Clomping Road waypoint, and you're going to go where the actual obelisk is. There's an obelisk farm in that location, which I will show you on the map. That's where you'll find Droll the Troll, and it is the best place to try to get this weapon. Now, to the best of my knowledge, this weapon only drops with dark magic attached to it. If you've seen another one, please let me know in the comments section down below. I have 3 or 4 of these. They only have dark magic, so I think that's all the actual weapon comes with. However, regardless of what type of build you're running, it is still incredibly powerful. Once again, my friends, I recommend taking the time, hit up this obelisk farm. It will definitely be worth your while. With all that being said, my friends, I'm going to start to wrap this video up. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support with my Tiny Tina's Wonderlands content. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, there are so many different ways you can farm in this game. I know for many people out there, they hit up the Chaos Chambers nonstop, but I know for a lot of other gamers, they're either getting burnt out from the Chaos Chamber or, you know, you're just not getting certain loot that you want to, even though you can obviously choose the targeted loot you want at the end of your run. And in this method I'm showing you here, it does give you that opportunity to farm for bosses that do have dedicated loot drops. On average, it takes me anywhere from 5 to 10 attempts to hopefully get the legendary I'm looking for, and hopefully you have the same luck. Most of you know by now that one of the main goals at the channel is to try to help people out in any way we can. So if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along, please let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, if you have questions, comments, or feedback, let me know as well, and I will try to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.